The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma. The Voice of America Georgian service reported that the U.S. State Department and U.S. Treasury are preparing a package of sanctions against Bidzina Ivanishvili, founder and honorary chairperson of the ruling Georgian Dream Party. The head of the Department of Special Tasks, Zviad Harazishvili Hareba, and his deputy Miller Lagazauri, the founder of Altinfo Konstantine Morgosia and Zurab Maharadze, were sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department. In addition, the U.S. Department is taking additional measures to impose visa restrictions against more than 60 Georgians and their family members who participate in digging the roots of democracy in Georgia. Andrew Jewell, resident representative for Georgia at the International Monetary Fund, told the Checkpoints that under its mandate, IMF staff does not assess compliance with international sanctions, and staff may not advise the authorities on whether to comply or not with international sanctions. We may assess the macroeconomic and financial implications of sanctions, compliance or non-compliance, and advise countries to make measures to mitigate the risks. In this context, to ensure that financial stability is protected, banks should not face a situation of ambiguity regarding their legal and compliance obligations and should be able to assess the implications of these obligations for their operations, Jewell said. The National Bank of Georgia on Wednesday highlighted its systemic supervision of the implementation of international sanctions as well as the enforcement of compliance to its own regulations and national legislation by individual participants for the domestic financial sector. The MBG also noted sanctions would apply to Georgian citizens when the country courts issued legally binding guilty verdicts based on the imposed sanctions. The central bank emphasized that Georgia was operating in full compliance with the requirements stipulated by sanctions. It asserted that the country had never been and will never become a place to evade sanctions. EasyJet, a British multinational low-cost airline, together with the British Airways, is set to enter the Georgian aviation market in 2025. EasyJet will operate direct flights from London, Geneva, and Milan to Tbilisi International Airport. The inaugural flight from Geneva is scheduled to arrive in Tbilisi on March 31st in 2025. Founded 20 years ago, EasyJet offers both domestic and international scheduled services on 927 routes across more than 34 countries. The airline is headquartered at London Luton Airport. Defense Ministry announced $144 million tender for Army City. This will be a continuation of the project that was launched in 2020. 39 seven-story residential blocks with 1,092 apartments were constructed for the soldiers at the Mahata Mount so far. The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.